So how much time do you think you spend trying to find the perfect product to sell on Amazon? So it's without a doubt, especially in the beginning, the most important part of Amazon FBA, but it's also the most time consuming. It's the thing that's going to drive your growth more than anything else. But if you've got a full-time job, if you've got kids, if you've got a girlfriend that wants you to go and get brunch on a Saturday morning, it can be difficult to find the time to do it. But what if I told you that there's a way that you can find profitable products every single day whilst you're at work, or you're at the gym, or you're out with your girlfriend having eggs Benedict? So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can go from finding maybe at most a couple of products a day to finding 20 to 30 good product opportunities every single day on autopilot. And before you say it, it's not ChatGPT, it's not some other random software, it's not deep work or some other fancy fad, and it doesn't involve you just sitting at your computer for 12 hours a day. To show you what I'm banging on about, we're gonna take a little trip. Welcome to the Philippines. So, by now, you might have guessed what I'm talking about, but in case you haven't, let me explain. So the Philippines is home to over 100 million people, and these are people that you can hire remotely for a fraction of the cost of what it costs to hire somebody in the West. And these people are amazing. They're hardworking, they're smart, they're friendly, they've got great sense of humors, and they can help you find products to sell on Amazon 100 times faster than you can do on your own. And the beauty of it is that you can hire them for as little as $4 to $5 an hour. And before you say that's paying somebody peanuts and that's slave labor, it's not. That's a great wage in the Philippines. Now again, I know exactly what you're thinking. You're thinking that this isn't for you. You're thinking that as a beginner, you would never hire somebody to work for you, especially a VA in the Philippines. I know the exact doubts that you've got because those are the doubts that I had when I started Amazon. And I'm going to show you why those doubts are completely illogical and show you that you're actually losing money by not doing this. And I'm going to show you exactly how and where to find great VAs in the Philippines. So the first doubt that everybody has is that they're new to Amazon FBA, so they shouldn't be hiring somebody to help them. But you need to get over this idea if you really want to progress with Amazon FBA and if you really want to progress with business in general. What I will say though is if you are completely new to product research, you've got absolutely no idea how the basic fundamentals work, then you should go and watch this free 40-minute masterclass that I recorded recently where I dive into the absolute fundamentals, and you're going to learn everything you need to know to get started. Then after you've done that, go and check out the description of this video where you're going to see a link where you can get access to our free step-by-step SOP for doing product research that you can actually learn from and then you can use to teach your VA. But my point here is that you shouldn't wait until you're a product research master to hire a VA. You can work with a VA as you're learning the ropes yourself, and training them using our SOPs and our masterclass is going to help you both become experts pretty quickly. So the next big doubt that people have when hiring VAs is they say things like, why would I pay someone to do something that I can just do myself? And the reason is because you can't spend 8 hours a day doing product research. So chances are people watching this video, you've maybe got an hour or 2 hours at the most free to do product research on a daily basis. Probably less. So let's imagine in the average week, you've got 10 hours free to do product research. How much faster do you think you'll find a product if you suddenly had an extra 40 hours? So what happens if you got a load of stuff to do at work that week? Maybe you got to stay at the office after hours, or maybe you're on a holiday with your girlfriend, and in the end, you end up having no spare time. There's so many things that can crop up and distract you and take your time, and that's time taken away from you focusing on the thing that's going to drive growth in your business, which is finding and launching products. So a VA can be doing product research for you while you're at your day job, searching for suppliers, or you're at the gym. And yeah, of course, you're gonna need to be looking at their work and checking the products that they find, but you've got to do the same with your own research as well. The difference is that you didn't put in weeks worth of your own time to shortlist 5 products because you were busy at your day job. You get to skip to the more interesting parts of the product research process. You get to avoid all of the tedious repetition of scrolling through Amazon, scrolling through Helium 10. Even if they only do 75% of the process, that's still saving you tons of time. They're not doing everything from finding the product to validating it to ordering it to everything. We're training them to do the most time-consuming manual parts of the process so that you can focus on the most important parts of the process, which is figuring out how you can customize the products, how you can do the branding, how you can do the creative side so that you can really stand out. All right, so the next big thing that stops people hiring VAs is they say that they can't afford it. So when you're first starting out, it can be hard to think about paying other people to work for you. And even if you do have a little bit of money in the bank, it's still hard to think that that's how you should be spending it. But let me show you why you actually can't afford to not do this. So let's imagine that you're making $4,000 a month working 40 hours a week at a company. So 40 hours a week is 160 hours a month. So you divide that 4,000 by 160 hours and you're making $25 an hour. So that means that right now your time, in theory, is worth $25 an hour. So every hour that you spend doing product research in the evenings or the weekends, or in the middle of that boring Zoom call that you should be paying attention to, you're using $25 of your time. So by paying somebody $5 an hour to do the same manual work, you're actually saving $20 an hour. And you've also just freed up more time to work on other things that take a bit more thought or a bit more creativity. Or you can go for brunch with your girlfriend. And honestly, it's really up to you to decide how much you want to invest. So you can hire someone for 10 hours a week for less than $50. Or for less than $1,000 a month, you can hire somebody full time. And when you do that, you're going to be finding products so much faster, which means that you can get to market faster and you're going to recoup your initial investment faster as well. So this is the kind of entrepreneurial mindset that you need to be adopting if you want to be successful in business. You need to learn the value of your time so that you can leverage other people's time to move faster. All right, so now we've smashed all of those doubts, you should be sat there understanding that even if you are a beginner, you probably should be hiring a VA. So the question is, where and how do you actually hire them? So the number one place to hire VAs is a website called onlinejobs.ph. So this is basically a job board for remote workers based in the Philippines. So for example, you can find people like this guy here to do Amazon FBA product research for you for 8 hours a day for as little as $4.13 an hour. So that's just over $700 a month, or about $180 a week, for somebody to be sat doing product research for you for 8 hours a day. So if historically you were only doing an hour a day because you were really busy, you've just multiplied the amount of products that you can find by 8. So this guy probably does have a very different way of doing product research than how we teach it. But that's where our step-by-step SOP comes in. So all you need to do is use the SOP, literally give it to them so they can follow, and they're gonna learn exactly how they should be doing it. So the easiest way to hire someone on onlinejobs.ph is to create a very clear job description. You then set that job description live and you filter through the applications that come in. Now, there's so many people on here that you're gonna get a lot of job applications fast. And this is where the research task comes in. This is gonna help you filter through all of the applicants and find the best people. So there are some alternatives to hiring from something like onlinejobs.ph. It can be quite a time-consuming process. So what you can do is you can work with a company like Multiply Me. So these guys are a specialist recruitment agency or an Amazon headhunting service focused on finding top-class talent from the Philippines. And this is a great option for people that don't want to spend a ton of time manually scrolling through applicants. So if you want to learn a little bit more about Multiply Me, there's a link in the description and you can also get a discount with all of their services. We're literally hiring 2 VAs at the moment and we're using Multiply Me to do that. All right, so if you do want to hire from onlinejobs.ph, there is a link in the description where you can get access to this page here. This is going to show you our job description. It's going to show you the task that we give to people. It's going to show you the step-by-step SOP that you can use to train your VA and also yourself if you're not super versed in product research. And it's also going to show you this master document here that you can make a copy of by going to File, Make a Copy. So this is where your VA is going to input all of the data. So this is where before, when I was saying your VAs are not being trained to find products for you and do the entire process. What they're being trained to find is the key data points that you need to make a quick decision. This is going to cut out 60 or 70% of the time doing product research when you've got access to all of this data in this document. So we're going to start by going through the job description. I'm not going to go through every detail in here. You can copy this, you can make a copy of this page, but basically what this does is it outlines exactly what the VA is going to be doing. So the VAs are going to read this on onlinejobs.ph and then they're going to apply for the job. So there's a couple of key points in here for how they need to apply. The first thing that we ask them to do is we ask them to put a specific point or a specific keyword in the subject line when they apply for the job. So one of the points in the job description is they need a strong attention to detail. So what we say is in the subject line of your application, please write Honest FBA is awesome. You can obviously put whatever you want in there. If your name's John, you can say, right, John is awesome. Point of this is that they need to have read through this in detail. So if they apply and they don't put that, you know that they've not read the job description and their attention to detail isn't that great. The other thing that we get them to do is we get them to record a short 1 or 2 minute video. So you can use a tool like Video Ask for this, or you can use Loom. This is basically testing a couple of things. First of all, it's testing their level of English, so you know that you can have a conversation with them. And it's testing, they're a little bit tech savvy, so they can use these tools to create a selfie video and just hear a little bit more about them in general, who they are as a person. So this is a job description that you can literally copy and paste, edit little bits to suit your business, but you can use this on onlinejobs.ph. Next up, you're going to give them the task. So once you put your job description live, you're going to get a ton of applicants. Once you've seen some that seem like they've got good experience, a good CV, they've sent in their video and they seem competent, you can send them this task. So it's not super complicated. All you are looking to do is check a few different things. The first one is that they know how to use Helium 10, because you don't want somebody that doesn't know how to use either Helium 10 or Jungle Scout. The second one is that they can just follow some basic instructions, which should be pretty simple. So the task that we give them, we want them to find 2 products that fit these criteria. The first one is the revenue between 12 and 20,000. You can obviously change that to whatever you want. The size that we want them to look for. What they're looking for here isn't really that important. What's important is that they're able to find all of this stuff and then put it into a Google Sheet, nice and organized, and then send it over to you. If they can do that and they do it well and they follow the instructions properly, the chances are that you found a decent VA that can really help you with product research. So the next thing that we're going to look at is the step-by-step SOP. So this is the SOP that you're going to train the VA with, because a lot of them, they will already have experience and they might even say that they know what they're doing and they can find you products, blah, blah, blah. The chances are that they don't, and they do need a little bit of assistance. So this basically clearly explains everything that they're going to be doing. It's going to explain exactly what the process is from start to finish. It's going to explain the tools that they'll be using. It's going to give them access to any Google Sheets that they need. It's going to tell them the exact criteria that we're looking for. So we're going to tell them, for example, exclude any seasonal products. So, we don't want to be looking at stuff that's only sold in the winter. We like to exclude any size variations where people have got, 6 different sizes or 20 different colors. That makes it a little bit difficult to compete. We also like to cap what they find based on revenue, because if you've got $10,000 to invest, then you probably shouldn't be looking at niches where the top seller is doing $100,000. Then we give them all of the information that we want them to record. Everything gets put into this master document here. So we have the date, the market, the product name, the niche. We have a link to the top seller. We've got the top keyword in the niche. So that's the top most relevant keyword. The search volume of that keyword. We've got the revenue of the top seller in the niche. All of this data is what they're going to be filling in. So they really don't have very much that they need to think about. They're just literally finding the data and then putting it into this document. Once it's in that document, you can then look at it and it's going to speed everything up. So as you scroll down in the SOP, you're going to come to this step-by-step part. This is basically going to teach them how to use Helium 10, what filters to put in, what they need to be looking at, what they need to do for the size tiers, for the variation counts. It's going to go through all of this stuff. Remember that we're excluding products that are seasonal, electronic. You can obviously tweak this. Like maybe you do want to look at electronic items and you can just delete that part of the SOP. We also like to tell them, like I said, don't include products that have got too many variations. Like this one would be an example where we just don't want to try and compete with somebody offering this many variations. Another key point that we put in our SOPs is that we don't want the FBA fee to be too big of a percentage of the price. So this deck chair, for example, has got an FBA fee of $34.34, but the price of the product is $65. So that doesn't leave much room for our PPC. It doesn't really leave us much room at all for profit. The FBA fee is really high. So we get the VAs to check that the FBA fee is no more than around 35% of the sales price. Now, they probably don't understand that in the beginning, but once they read through this SOP, they're going to understand why they need to do that. Then we explain to them how to find the keyword, the top keyword in the niche, how to use the BSR box to click on this keywords link, how to use Cerebro. Everything in here is explained step by step. So you can literally take this SOP, you can tweak it, you can change the little bits. The point is that you have a step-by-step instruction that you can use, but you can also train other people to use. Now, one last thing that we do is we like to record a Loom video of ourselves going through the process. So we will literally record our screen, record ourselves speaking like I'm doing right now. We'll go through this process and then we'll include a link at the bottom of the page. So this does two things, right? They're going to get a text version with everything that they need to know. they're going to get access to all of the documents, but then they're actually going to get a video where I actually go through the process. So they get both sort of ways of learning it. One is like visual, the other is actually listening to what I'm saying as I do it. Now, it might take these VAs a little bit of practice to get up and running, but this is going to give you the basis of everything that you need to hire a VA and just 10x the amount of products that you're finding. It's also worth noting that when you do start working with a VA, right, you should let them know that it's okay to ask questions. It's okay for them to get clarification on anything that they need at any time. You want to keep all of your communications with VAs super clear and super direct. I try to make all of the instructions that we give them so simple that I know my dad could follow them. And that's not to insult VAs or people in the Philippines. It's just really important that when you're training people to do these manual tasks, it's super, super clear what you want from them. You also need to give them very candid, constructive feedback. Don't just assume that they'll nail everything the first time round. Let them know how they're doing as they go along and what you expect. And just treat them like normal human beings, not just low-wage workers based in the Philippines. Because generally life is better when you're not a fucking asshole. So if you haven't by now, go and check out the video description, grab the SOP, grab all these other documents. And if you do need some extra help with Amazon FBA product research, go and check out my live 40-minute research masterclass where I walk you through step-by-step how you can easily find products even if you don't have a VA. But you should have a VA, like I said. And remember, keep your eyes out for ways that you can outsource your most boring, repetitive admin tasks so that you can start getting your time back.